Yeah, we're doing Love Letters and Digital Ink next.
Yeah,
We have
Ro-
Kanaya and we have Karkat
and we
and
have Rose.
Rose.
Yep,
Well, that's one for everybody.
one for everybody. I think that one's pretty much set. We've all got our regular voices.
Yep, yeah, I guess last time on this fic. What the fuck happened last time on this fic? They haven't had the sleepover yet, right? Oh no, yeah,
No,
okay. Rose invited Roxy invited Porum, so Rose invited Kanaya for a sleepover, I think is what happened
yeah,
last
exactly.
time.
Yep.
Tate, stop it. Oh, you're licking your fox. Okay, alright. That's okay. Just don't lick your paws. I'm sorry, Tate. You're a good girl. I'll scratch your butt. You're a good job. Oh, you're gonna try to bite my hands? Is it because I scratched your butt?
Uh-huh. God.
Yeah, is that your toy?
The fact that this fic is a few digits off of being the maximum value for an unsigned integer just kills me.
And math things.
It's 65, 530. I don't remember, 565? I have to look it up, but it's very close to 65, 516 words.
Okay, I'm done playing with Tate, sorry.
Yay. All right. Yeah, let me know when you're ready to go because Kanaya is the kicking off line.
Alrighty, chapter 4.
Hmm. Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
What? Kanaya, what's wrong? What the fuck?
She is talking about my biceps. Karkat. She is talking about me and Porum in explicit detail. Very explicit. She appears to think I am aesthetically pleasing. Karkat, I don't know how much more of this I can handle.
Do you want me to message her? I can tell her to knock it the fuck off. That shit is creepy. She shouldn't be giving away your name online.
No, I am not averse to it. But, Karkat, she invited me for a sleepover. Sleepover? How am I supposed to... She does not know I have a blog. She has no idea. How am I supposed to breach the subject?
Look, if I've learned anything from terrible movies, is that this is exactly the kind of shit you need to get out of ASAP. Or if you actually end up friends with her. What if, 3 years into your relationship, you let slip that you followed her blog for ages before you met her? What if it's the wedge that finalizes your divorce? Miscommunication is the enemy of healthy romantic relationships.
Okay, but consider. What if we just let it slide?
What? No, that is like exactly the opposite of what I said.
Karkat, if I tell her, she will probably stop. And I like... She talks about me a lot. And she is always flattering.
Oh, okay. You're gonna let Rose Lalonde delude herself into thinking you've never been on the internet because you want her to keep waxing rhapsodic on your muscles. Good to know we're straight here. Or, well, technically none of us are straight here, but all of us are more or less certain of what we are doing, regardless of whether or not it's a good idea.
Yes.
So what the fuck do you need me for? Am I just supposed to sit here and worry for the state of your relationship like an underpaid therapist? Because if so, just let me know. I will draw up my enormous leather chair of underappreciation and brandish my pen of unheeded advice. Observe my meticulously crafted expression of tired patience, developed by years of fucking abuse.
You are being overdramatic and silly. Desist.
No, pardon me. Sound advice from the girl who's fucking nonsensical she'd rather enwrap herself in layer upon layer of deceit and false identity rather than tell Rose Lalonde that her attraction is mutual. Jesus fuck. You have the good luck to catch the attention of your celebrity crush and you figure that the best course of action is to stay silent. How are you so smart and also so fucking dumb?
Well, hey now. Do you want to talk about celebrity crushes? Cough, turn deck cough.
Wow, do you hear that? It is reminiscent of a chorus of angels, bedecked with pristine white feathers, descending from the heavens whilst cheering a glorious, elegant rhapsody of fuck you. But nay, the angels are all me, and I am all the angels, And so it is I that descends from the heavens, middle fingers bared as the Lord Jesus bared his face before Philistines. Said Philistines whom, in this case, rejecting of the good advice of their Lord and aid, bear the name Mariam, to imbue upon you the immense and unlimited blessing of my disdain. As plentiful as the love of Jesus Christ for his public, so is my disdain for you. Drink of it, and be merry.
I will drink of nothing.
Why do I waste my time?
I really don't know. You are fully aware that your elaborate speeches will not draw the reaction you seek from me. Nor will I engage you in one of your roast sessions, which you seem to so enjoy.
Force of habit. Hey, you mind if I copy and paste that into my chat with Solix? He's being an ass and thinking of that shit takes time.
Go ahead.
Thanks.
I have to go over to Rose's now. Porum is already irritated at me for being late. To be honest, I do not think it matters all that much. It's not like it will take that long to go over there anyway. They are literally just 10 feet away, Porum.
Sure. Let me know how it goes.
I will.
Date: June 11th, 2016. Weather: dark. Mood: tired. News: it's 11:59 as I post this, so technically I am not late. Never let it be said I sacrifice nothing for the love of my followers. To be honest, nothing terribly spiritual happened today. I woke up late because yesterday I was online until the dark hours of the morning, and then I was occupied by helping Roxy. If you don't mind, I'm going to postpone this story until the personal news section. Suffice it to say that the only notable piece of the news section is that Kanaya brought a few crystals of her own, which was a pleasant surprise. She seems to favor red jasper and emeralds, and we did a crystal grid together. It was very pleasant. Its energies were stronger than the ones I'd performed on my own, and in fact she had a few tips that I had not heard of before. She was surprised that I had not heard the pointers she gave, and therefore was more confident in her suggestions. I suspect that we may be getting somewhere as regards to her shyness. I suppose there's nothing quite like sleeping with somebody to break the ice. In reviewing the previous line, I suppose that younger readers may be a tad scandalized by my wording, but I will not change it. The wordplay is intentional, and should anyone be made suspicious by the phrasing, I would point out that it is their mind that first thought of the more lurid meaning, not mine. Questions answered. In response to @Cuttlefish Color's question about seafaring familiars, there is absolutely nothing stopping you from taking a marine animal, i.e., a cuttlefish, perhaps, as a familiar. Again, the animal should be one of personal importance to you. If that animal happens to be one built for the waters and not the earth or skies, then so be it. The only difficulty I can imagine inherent to having an affinity for marine life is access. If your familiar is a koi fish or some other relatively easy-to-procure creature, then there is no issue. But certain animals can only prosper in deep-sea environments or deep-sea simulations. And to the extent of my knowledge, please, if you have contradictory experiences, share them. You cannot conduct summonings in an aquarium. At least, not without the help of someone on staff. In response to @Garden Gnostic's question about herbal arrangements, Jade, you know full well that you are more experienced in this area than I, and it is childish of you to force me to admit this in a public forum. If you want me to recognize your superiority, fine. And in fact, I will freely advocate to my followers to also go peruse your blog if their interests trend toward the natural and homegrown approach to spellcasting. Then she has a lovely collection of tips and tricks. But as for those born and raised in the city, if you can't grow, wrap, package, and seal your own incense, store-bought is fine. Personal news. I apologize if it was painfully obvious to anyone reading that I hurried through the earlier parts of my update to reach this section, but I have a rather lot to get off my chest. Forgive me, I will remedy the difference in my next post. The day started disastrously. Roxy woke me up at 9 o'clock to go shopping, fully aware that it was disruptive to my daily routine. She seemed to believe me undersupplied in the pajama department, and wanted me to look your damn fineness for K, Mary, and porridge, whatever that's supposed to mean. I informed her that my nightgown was a classy blend of Victorian elegance and modern. She would hear nothing of it. She wrenched me from my bed and refused to leave my room until I put on some clothes, and then hauled me into her car and took me shopping against my will. I will say this for Roxy. Shopping with her is preferable to shopping with my mother, but only marginally. Instead of hauling me into the direction of frills and bows, Roxy went immediately for the strangest articles in the store. I would suspect her to be motivated by my suffering if I not know her to be incapable of such ill will. Before the end of the trip, I was forced to try on and model no less than 7 sets of pajamas, each of increasingly ludicrous design. There was one in bright pink, another in an equally horrid and vibrant shade of blue. Roxy seemed to like them and bought both. Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead in either, but to each their own. She looked decent in them, so her purchase wasn't entirely ill-advised. She also made me try on various sets of lingerie, to my great horror. I have never worn lingerie in my life, and I cannot believe that my sister would prompt me to consider it. What would my mother think? A note for all of those out there considering it: lingerie is horrifically uncomfortable and should be worn only by those truly desperately in love with their partners. The sets Roxy chose had wires that protruded from underneath the breast and forced the cups upward, not to mention a layer of sheer lace that covered nothing substantial. I am not unaware of the aesthetic appeal of such costumes, but I am all too aware of the way it drains one to wear. Furthermore, the prices were ridiculous. With the money that Roxy spent on one set of lingerie, I could have procured 3 sets of nightgowns like the one I already wear. It is robbery, and I will not support an institution founded on such corruption. I ended up buying a pair of sweatpants and a shirt with some cheeky quip printed on the back because she insisted that I had to spend money and I was not looking for an argument in public. The quip reads, "I bite," and the t-shirt itself cost $25. Why would anyone think such a simplistic slogan is deserving of $25? Come back and ask for my money when you've thought of something clever. Kanaya and Porum came over around 4 o'clock. Although they were 15 minutes late, Porum was noticeably miffed at their lateness. Kanaya was not. I gathered from this that their tardiness was Kanaya's fault and had the good sense not to ask her about it. She brought with her a sleeping bag and an enormous duffel bag. I will admit I was bewildered at its size and wondered how many things she required to get ready for bed. This, too, I refrained from asking about, for perhaps there were some sensitive materials in the bag that she did not wish me to know about. I am, if nothing else, conscious of others' desire for privacy. She seemed surprised by the decor and went immediately to the bookshelf, where she at once removed Sunrise, a book weathered by years of page-flipping and dog-earing.
I own this.
She said, looking bewildered. Oh, it's a good book, isn't it? I admit to being flustered, but in my defense, it was the first time a girl unrelated to me had been in my room. It was an understandably overwhelming experience.
I bought a box set with an extended guide.
She said excitedly.
When I was younger, well,
What?
I dressed up as the main character to entertain the fantasy. It was enjoyable.
That's adorable,
It's embarrassing,
she said, closing the book sharply.
but I did it, so.
For those unaware, Sunrise is a supernatural novel following the gradual maturation and eventual sexual awakening of its human protagonist, featuring several strapping supernatural women of various qualities and abilities. It is available on Amazon. I'll put the link below the post. Do you have photos?
No, of course not. Thank goodness.
She laughed, scratching the back of her neck.
It wasn't something I'm proud of, but seeing that brings back memories.
She sat on my bed, crossing one leg over the other, and inquired,
Do you have anything in particular planned for tonight?
Well, I had to take a good few seconds to compose myself after that. Readers, what would you do? The question was posed so innocently, but the manner and circumstances under which it was raised. If you were in my place? Frankly, I think I deserve a commendation for the rapidity with which I regained composure. No, I said eloquently. She was evidently disappointed.
Oh, well, I brought some things.
She reached into her bag, rummaged around, and withdrew a small leather pouch.
Do you partake in crystals by any chance?
From the look she gave me, I might almost suspect that she already knew I enjoyed the occult and magical, but given that her sister and mine had spoke before, and that Roxy had disclosed some facts about me, I did not think anything of it. Besides, even looking around my room, it isn't hard to discern. I said I did, and she seemed quite pleased with herself at having guessed correctly. Then, as you already know, we built a crystal grid together. I lent some of my own prized crystals to contribute, and the end result to this movement permeates my room with a pleasant, soothing sensation. I feel at peace now, despite the presence of someone else in a private space. Such is the work of well-organized and compatible crystals. After we were finished, almost half an hour had passed in pleasurable silence. I was suddenly aware that Kanaya Merriam is the kind of person with whom one can spend much time saying nothing at all and still feel as though kinship had been established. Such friendships are rare and to be treasured, as I hope ours will be soon. Although I do not know if the feeling was mutual, I hope it was. Dinner was pizza with my mother's grated Parmesan cheese. I suspect that she grated the cheese herself to try and suggest that she was an artisan chef, despite the fact that the pizza was ordered from Domino's. Porum bought more of the brownies that we sampled the first time they came over, and it was delectable. I noticed a significant amount of suggestive looks being exchanged between Roxy and Porum over dinner, and I attempted to ignore it as best I could. But it is somewhat difficult to mind your own business when your own sister's foot catches yours by accident when she's attempting to engage the girl adjacent to yourself in a game of footsie. I gave her a solid kick to the shin as a warning shot, and she looked suitably abashed. All 17-year-olds are insatiable, I believe. Afterward, Mom suggested that we watch a movie, but Roxy and Porum unanimously vetoed the idea. Kanaya looked mortified by her sister's vehemence, as was I, to Roxy, of course. I would not presume to be mortified nor disappointed by Porum. I have no idea what they went to do in their room. I acquiesced to the movie to keep my mother from feeling too bad about it, as she's prone to do. Kanaya seemed to have no objections. The movie we watched was Complacency, which I will gladly inform you is just as enjoyable in the 50th watching as it was in the 14th. I caught Kanaya mouthing the lines at one point. I suspect she knows it too. One thing I found curious was that Kanaya insisted, non-negotiably, on changing in the bathroom. I assured her I would not look, and I was earnest, I'm not the lecherous type, but she refused to budge on the issue. Of course, I didn't press the subject. She disappeared into the bathroom and returned a few minutes later in bulky pajamas, she looked utterly adorable, of course, nearly swimming in enormous gold hoodie and loose grey pants. I insisted on a photo, which she acquiesced to, albeit reluctantly. That photograph is currently my lock screen. I debated wearing the pajamas Roxy bought for me, but faced with the immediate presence of someone who would see me in them, I was suddenly anxious. In light of our discussion of Sunrise, a novel featuring vampires aplenty, Bite Me seemed a bit audacious. But then, was Victorian lace any better? I was sitting in the presence of someone who sews her own clothes. Ultimately, I decided on the latter. At the very least, I would be odd in an unorthodox way. I need not have worried. Kanaya was, as ever, composed and thoughtful, and appeared delighted by the choice.
Is that real lace?
She came closer than ever before to get a better look at my ruffled neckline. I am sorry to admit that I froze up, but she was very close, and she is very pretty. Yes, it is real. I bought it from an antique shop.
It's so well done.
Her fingers hovered over the ruff, and she snatched her hands back, apparently becoming aware of her invasion of my space.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was inappropriate of me.
No, I said, much louder than I meant to. You can, if you prefer, I suppose. It is well constructed, isn't it? And you can look at it, certainly, and touch touch the ruff, not the, yes. She pinched one of the lace layers between the two fingers and rubbed it. I attempted to breathe properly despite overwhelming odds. Her face was very close. I could see the scattering of pimples hidden behind a layer of makeup and her hair brushed against my cheek.
Could you take me there?
She said it while blushing, but was resolute.
I'd like to see somewhere with this kind of fabric.
Her breath was on my face. It was unquestionably the most erotic moment of my life. Yes, I assured her. Of course. For now, though.
Sorry.
She moved away, sat down on her sleeping bag.
I like fabrics.
I noticed, I said, still breathless and a little winded.
Sorry.
She repeated.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry, I really couldn't think of any way to finish that sentence without revealing myself for all my inappropriate notions, so I said, acceptable, and then proceeded to mentally kick myself, repeatedly, and with much gusto.
Right, okay.
She folded herself into the sleeping bag.
Well, see you tomorrow then.
That I will. I hesitated. Do you mind if I go to my laptop? I just have a few things to tend to. She might have smiled, but she turned away from me quickly, so I couldn't get a decent look.
Of course, please do.
It won't take a moment, I said, and then scrambled for my laptop, desperate to record every second of the interaction. So, there you have it. My apologies if this entry was private life heavy. I needed somewhere to talk about it, and @TurnTech Godhead isn't online right now, so you have received the unnecessary exposition that he might have weathered otherwise. Thank you all for your patience, and I will update you on further developments as they occur. As always, the inquiry box is open. Feel free to solicit advice on any and all supernatural feats that you have witnessed or seek to witness. Have a good evening, readers. Tentacle Therapist.
Oh my god, that's such a gay story. I love
Such
it.
a gay story. Also, bro, you just putting that out on the internet, Rose?
Right. Oh, I really enjoy that.